because we meet Prince Edward in the most, like, pandery to the female audience scene I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, they're in their bedroom, Stacy's in her pajamas, like, doing shit, and he is shirtless, putting a shirt on, and then spends the rest of the scene desperately trying to get that shirt back off, because he is down to fuck!
It's so funny. And then Vanessa Anne Hudgens is completely oblivious. She's just like, oh, what else? Yeah, I just want to talk about Margaret, my weird, like, twin from another country. Let's talk about her. And he's like, I'm begging you. I need to nut today. Welcome to Mortified, the Friendship Quest, a podcast where two long-distance friends bounce media recommendations, all in hopes the other will like it. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Leyla.
And today we're celebrating the holidays by switching our way through a pink Christmas and then making all the content we've talked about this year compete for our affections. Before we take a world tour of orphans, remember you can help us on Mortified the Legitimacy Quest by subscribing to us on YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify, signing up for our monthly newsletter through the link in our show notes, or following us on Twitter @MortifiedPod. Leyla. Sorry, I forgot World Tour of Orphans was a phrase used in this movie, and holy shit, I'm so happy. I almost burst into laughter just now.
I could hear it. Your camera's frozen, but I could hear it in your voice.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What an excellent line delivery from Vanessa Anne Hudgens.
Yeah, who comprises, like, I don't know, 2/3 of the cast of Christmas Switch 2.
Yeah, so that's where we'll start. We watched Princess Switch 2 switched again.
Switched again, of course.
Which is, the only reason I know about this motion picture is because Casey Aonzo on YouTube made a video about it. And the moment she was like, yeah, Vanessa Anne Hudgens was both princesses in Princess Switched 1, and now she plays both princesses and her own cousin Fiona in Princess Switched 2. I was like, oh, I think I have to watch this motion picture.
And it was worth it, I think. Listen, I wouldn't say it's a good movie, but, like, no. I did have a good time watching it, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it really, like, from moment one, it really knows its audience, which I appreciate, because you get the recap. Thank you producers for the recap. Producers, by the way, Vanessa Anne Hudgens is a producer on this film.
I'm surprised she wasn't the fucking sound designer. Like, what the fuck?
She might have been. I wasn't paying attention to the credits. But they give you this handy little animated recap of Princess Switched 1, which neither of us have seen and I don't think intend to see.
Nope.
This moment can stay special. But she's like, you probably remember me, and both of our notes just say, nope. We don't, but thank you for this handy
I remember reminder. You from High School Musical. That was great.
So Vanessa Anne Hudgens plays United American Vanessa Anne Hudgens is Stacy, and she's a baker. And then British Vanessa Anne Hudgens is
Margaret.
Margaret, right? Yeah?
Yeah, Margaret.
And in the original movie, they switch lives and fall in love with each other's boyfriends/betrotheds. And then additionally, in this movie, she plays Margaret's cousin Fiona, who is maybe the most diabolical fucking person I've ever seen.
I mean, in my notes, I'm just like, oh, this is Team Rocket. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's essentially what she presents is she comes in with her two fucking henchmen, which I love them.
They're great. They kick ass.
They're so stupid. The man is just unapologetically homosexual. Like, they leave her in the middle of the Christmas ball or whatever among a criminal amount of tinsel to go, like, sexy pose on the red carpet.
It was awesome.
It was incredible.
We haven't even got to them yet. Like, the first, like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes of this movie is just set up and being like, anyway, so UK Vanessa Anne Hudgens is having some trouble because she broke up with US Vanessa Anne Hudgens' friend, who apparently they were, like, really close with. And that sets up a whole sort of situation. So what does Stacy do? But say, you know what? I know you broke it off after you guys have been dating for a while, but I'm actually going to invite your ex-boyfriend and his daughter to your coronation as queen of is it Montenegro or Belgravia? Which one? Which fake country do they rule?
I think Belgravia is the country and Montenegro is the city.
Okay, well, I mean, royalty's fucking stupid anyway, but...
Yeah, extra stupid, because apparently this royalty has a dungeon. We'll get to that. But... it's so weird, because Kevin and Margaret broke up off-screen so that this movie has a plot.
Mm-hmm.
They were together at the end of Princess Switch, from what I understand, and then off-screen, Margaret was too busy for Kevin. And they broke up. Meanwhile, Stacy is married to Prince Edward?
Yes. Yeah, so that makes her a queen, which is wild, and also she still continues to work in Chicago.
Yeah, no, she's a princess now. And Margaret is about to become queen because her other cousin abdicated.
He was just like, nah, I don't actually want to be the most powerful person in this country.
In this teeny tiny fake country. Yeah, and so, first of all, can we just talk about this batshit Prince and the Pauper adaptation?
I mean, it's very good. Like, I mean, listen, I loved Parent Trap when I was younger, right? This is, very similar premise.
Mm-hmm.
Except at the end of Parent Trap, they don't, marry each other's parents, I guess.
No, that would be insane.
No, I mean, this is that, though. It's like, okay, but what if we switched partners and then continued to go on and have, completely fine relationships with each other?
Well, is it fine? Because the disregard with which Stacy treats Prince Edward is fucking insane. Because we meet Prince Edward in the most, like, pandery to the female audience scene I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, they're in their bedroom, Stacy's in her pajamas, like, doing shit, and he is shirtless, putting a shirt on, and then spends the rest of the scene desperately trying to get that shirt back off, because he is down to fuck!
It's so funny. And then Vanessa Anne Hudgens is completely oblivious. She's just like, oh, what else? Yeah, I just want to talk about Margaret, my weird, like, twin from another country. Let's talk about her. And he's like, I'm begging you. I need to nut today.
Truly, she is the nutcracker. It is a batshit scene in which she's like, oh, I'm so worried about Margaret breaking up with Kevin now that Margaret's about to become queen, which I think is a completely reasonable breakup. Like, if you're gonna become queen, you're like, hey man, this cross-country relationship really isn't working for me. So instead, Stacy busts into Margaret's room one day and is like, hey, remember how we switched lives? Let's switch again. But they don't tell Stacy's fucking husband.
They are married. Also, they've done this before, so it wouldn't be that surprising to him. He'd be totally fine with it if he was just like, oh yeah, I just want to know. But instead, he has to give a confession to his, disguised wife about how he's worried that the relationship's deteriorating. And then the only person who pays any attention to him is Kevin's daughter, Olivia, who's just like, you're being kind of clingy, man. Like, what are we doing?
He isn't!
He's not!
Clingy at all! And no one corrects him, because at the end he even comes up to Stacy and he's like, I'm so sorry for being a helicopter or whatever. And Stacy's like, what? And he's like, never mind. I'm like, no, this man cares. Don't prevent him from caring.
God.
Oh, fucking painful. He wouldn't have cared, but now he gets to live in anxiety for the rest of his life because at any given moment his ex-girlfriend and his fucking wife might switch places again. And not tell him.
Shit's so wild.
So So fucked.
But anyway, so like, they're trying to get UK Vanessa, Margaret back in a relationship with Kevin. Um, but also her cousin, who is also Vanessa Anne Hudgens, rolls up and she's like,
Yes.
I need money. How am I gonna, steal some money from my rich cousin? Oh, I know. I'll kidnap her, impersonate her, transfer some funds to my Cayman Island account, and, I'll be gone. Cayman Islands doesn't have an extradition policy, which I thought was an incredible bit.
What a line!
Yeah, they just threw that in there. But of course, they did a switchy thing. The two good people did a switchy thing, so that way Margaret could spend more time with Kevin and get back together because they broke up for no reason whatsoever. They seemed like they have great chemistry. They seem fine. They literally have a fight with Flower in the kitchen, like as exes. Like, nah, y'all should never have broken up in the first place, clearly. But anyway, she kidnaps American, Vanessa Anne Hudgens. And my favorite part of that is the gay henchmen are like locking her in this like basement or whatever, and she's like, "No, you don't understand. You've kidnapped the wrong person. You're all going to prison for so long. I'm gonna. Do you know who I am? I could have drones in the air in 30 minutes, and you would all be fucking dead. You don't want to do this. Trust me."
So there's a couple of lines in there that hint at the writers like going, this is what government sounds like. So the drones thing, the non-extradition thing, and then like Kevin's waiting for Margaret when they have like a scheduled date pre-switch, and he's like, hey, how did your meeting with the trade council go or whatever? And she's just like, oh, I spent 6 months studying deficit trade policy, and no one's even... I'm like, man, that's a word salad. You have just served me a word salad with a Kevin vinaigrette. It was like that scene in Parks and Rec where, April and whoever Chris Pratt plays, Andy, are just, like, at a party trying to be adults, and they're like, the economy. Like, that's what that scene read as to me. It was so wild for no reason.
It was really just incredible. And I mean, like, I get it. They're trying to set up that she's competent or whatever, but, like, not using those words.
There's also a prime minister in this system, so it's kind of like the UK, but...
It's explicitly the UK!
But for some reason, the coronation is done by a priest. Like, wait!
Well, I think the coronation... Isn't the UK... I don't actually know dick all about the British monarchy, but I assume like they do, like, in one of their fancy abbeys, like have like a Anglican, bishop crown the queen or whatever. So
because
I assume
their whole thing was to be head of the church and state, right?
Yeah. So I assume it's they're just like, why didn't they just do it as England? Why didn't they just make Vanessa Anne Hudgens Queen of England? Like, why did they invent a fake country for this?
I think they were really trying to buy into the Christmas Prince and the Princess Diaries sort of vibe,
Genovia,
yeah. The reason I wave like a princess of Genovia anytime I walk anywhere. Yeah, no, absolutely. It is, though, like, you're right. They didn't lean hard enough into this being like a fictional country, and it was just so blatantly England that the whole thing felt like it was taking place in an alternate reality that I did not understand. But in a kind of delightful way, except for the part where there was way too much tinsel everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally a line about Vanessa Anne Hudgens being like, oh yeah, my grandma knitted me a sweater out of tinsel once, which is a wild thing to say, and everyone knew it, and they're just like, why did you say that? And she was like, I'm quirky, I don't know.
She's quirky and trying to spy on Margaret, who's being hit on by Antonio, who is her evil chief of staff, who I hate.
Antonio sucks shit, and he's really funny because, like, at the end, when he immediately figures out that the evil cousin is impersonating her, he's like, okay, I just want money. Could you just, like, send me a couple cool mil because I grew up rich and now I don't have any money. I'm only, the chief of staff of the person who is in charge of our government, so I don't have any money, obviously. I'll completely turn traitor for this wild, incompetent person that I met 30 minutes ago. And then, like, my favorite part about that is, like, at the end, when they are when they all three Vanessa Anne Hudgenses converge to make the fucking VAH singularity. Um, he's like, oh no, yeah, no, that's not. This is the real princess. These two people are imposters. Guards, arrest them. Like, they could have extremely gotten away with it, except Vanessa Anne Hudgens, from the U.S. was like, nuh-uh. And then all the guards were like, oh, okay, well, I'm a cop, so I'm used to listening to civilians. I'll definitely hear you out and not try to shoot you on sight. Maybe, I don't know, it's the UK, so maybe they don't do that over there. But, like, it... he could have gotten away with it too, but Antonio just didn't try hard enough. He's so stupid.
That is so fucking dumb. He goes for the Vanessa Anne Hudgens, who, by the way, on entrance, like, you can tell she's a villain because she's got blonde hair and bold makeup. She wears pants, there's red heels, and a jazz riff plays anytime she's on screen. So, that is objectively the most hilarious, like, filmmaking tonal switch I have ever seen, and it happens every time she's on fucking screen.
She
and it
rules.
Delights me.
Like, they just make her completely, like, the most evil person imaginable. Like, she always messes up the name of the orphanage she's allegedly going to visit. And then she's like, oh, I brought a gift for the orphans. And it's clearly, like, a toilet paper roll just wrapped in wrapping paper. And then, like...
when she gets corrected at the orphanage thing, she just rolls her eyes and goes, oh, it's a world tour of orphans.
It's so funny.
Also, at some point, she says, I don't remember who she was talking to, but she says the word LOL, like, out loud, and the line delivery of LOL really just gets me.
It's incredible. My favorite thing is that she's just so unabashedly evil. Like, not only does she, like, try to take over a country instead of just, like, kidnapping her sister once she realizes the situation she's in, but also, like, there's a part where Margaret and Kevin are about to get back together, and then Kevin rolls up, and, Fiona's taken Margaret's place, and she's like, oh, hey, Kevin, it's not gonna work out. Anyway, bye, you better go to the airport really quick. Like, she didn't need to do that. This was in no way necessary. She's like, I just want to be mean.
Yeah, she's just like, she was before Kevin walked in, she was practicing off with their heads in the mirror. Bitch, who are you gonna execute? What's happening?
Fucking Maleficent ass bitch.
I love her. Honestly, I want Vanessa Anne Hudgens as Fiona in that accent, talking about her, just saying the word Ariana Grande. Like, as my text tone for the rest of time. Her line delivery as Fiona is, give that bitch an Oscar. She's earned it. Like,
there's
nothing else
incredible.
For me.
And then at the end, I just really loved how, they're like, okay, we figured out Fiona's the actual imposter. And then she's like, oh, Mags, you wouldn't do this to me, right? And she's like, no, she's doing this to Antonio. And she's like, Antonio's like, oh, I was just joking when I tried to send you, to get shot by our cops, by our fucking Swiss Guard ass cops. And she's like, no, you're gonna think about what you've done. Guards, take him to the dungeon. Which they actually apparently have, which rules.
There's a dungeon, there's executions. The whole thing's a thrill ride beginning.
Santa Claus is canonically extant.
Santa Claus was the cab driver, and Kevin had the most appropriate reaction he could have had, which is looked at him and gone, no way, and gone into the fucking airport where the bitchiest priest did a shotgun wedding for him and the queen that he had clearly no fucking time or patience for.
He was just at, like, the Dunkin' Donuts kiosk, like, holy shit, I'm gonna miss my fucking flight. Ugh. The Cardinals are gonna murder me. These fucking Royals. Yeah, sure, whatever, you're married. Can I get on so I can start my in-flight movie? Like, oh my god.
Kevin just, like, has had the ring for
He
months.
had the ring and carries it around in his pocket. Why did they ever break up?
I don't understand. Hey, I think me and you both had this note, but before we depart from the Princess Switch to Switched again, I think you and I both have beef with this. does owning cats equate to loneliness?
Yeah, honestly, fuck off. Like, Stacy, when she goes to meet Kevin in Chicago and try to convince him to go crash his ex-girlfriend's coronation, he's like in a sweatpants. He's in sweatpants and like a hoodie, and he's like at his job, and she's like, "Oh, Kevin, you're really hitting rock bottom. You're wearing sweatpants and are trying to get a second cat. How just the lowest of the low."
Kevin, the handsomest man in that movie.
Oh, by far. No one
far.
else was hot in that movie except for Kevin.
No, Prince Edward, I would say, had a kind face. I wouldn't say he was, like, hot, but I looked at him. I'm like, as a fictional man, I trust you. You know?
I mean, I don't know. I'm a fairly heterosexual person, so I looked at that guy and I was like, he could be British royalty because he has a stupid, ugly face.
Listen, you know I love an ugly man.
That's true. You have a bad taste.
Oh, well, speaking of bad taste.
Christ.
What the fuck do you have against my boy Arcangelo?
He's such a douchebag! Oh my god!
Arcangelo fucks. So, this is a wild... Do you have anything else to say about Princess Switch 2 Switched Again?
Yeah, if you are gonna watch it, just watch the second one.
Don't watch the first one.
Don't watch the first one.
So, we decided that since Princess Switch 2 Switched Again was a film, we would indulge in two for this holiday edition of Mortified, the Friendship Quest. Aaron, do you want to give a summary of Neo Yokio's Pink Christmas special?
I can certainly try. So this is the anime that Jaden Smith was in. That's all I knew about it going in. Which was very surprising to me when he developed superpowers 40 minutes through the episode. I was very surprised by that. But apparently Jaden Smith is from a family of, I guess, demon hunters because they live in New York plus Tokyo. And
the
there were demons.
Problematic city in the world.
The most problematic is. Yup. And, like, I guess also in this society there is a, like, top 7 list of eligible bachelors that everyone's trying to fight to be on. And, you know, Kaz, Jaden Smith, is number 2, and his arch nemesis is number 1. Anyway, he's being read A Christmas Story by his robot butler. And, you know, this episode, you know, tries to talk about the plot of this Christmas story, which follows a young store clerk who works at, like, a fancy store in Neo Yokio. And how he becomes engaged to, like, the original Great Demon and destroys the world, Akira style. So, yeah, that's about what happens.
So just some context. The robot Charles is played by Jude Law. I am pretty sure the old woman that lives inside the robot is Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, hold on. You've seen the actual show.
Yes.
Is that happens in the actual show too?
That's canon. That's a thing. You meet her. And then Kaz is obviously Jaden Smith, but Arcangelo, or at least his singing voice, is Ezra Koenig of Vampire Weekend. This show was written by Ezra Koenig of Vampire Weekend.
I mean, I don't know. This is the fucking wildest show. And we watch shit like fucking Princess Tutu and Shaman King on this program. Yeah. This one is on a completely other level. Like, I mean, listen, he has a great singing voice. I actually liked the weird song that he did in the middle when he was like, I just want to get rich, but I'm going to get rich by, you know, abandoning material possessions.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rich based off of selling out a Christmas show at Radio City Music Hall that it preaches against consumerism. I have been on a 2-year tirade because I saw this when it came out. I have been on a 2-year tirade now that Friend Like You is not on Spotify or anywhere. I want to jam to Friend Like You.
It's a very good song.
It's a bop. Even with Jaden Smith, like, kind of half-assing it for most of it, because Kaz is supposed to be half-assing it. It's not that Jaden Smith is. Mm-hmm. He's full-assing a half-ass performance for the sake of the show. But it's a bop. Arcangelo, who, by the way, wants to fuck Kaz so bad it makes him look stupid.
It's a lot. They're so horny.
Yeah, Arcangelo loves Kaz so much, and Kaz hates his guts, and it's so funny to watch. When he kisses him on the cheek, I die every single time. It's literally the funniest cinema masterpiece. It's literally the funniest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, so this show is like just full to the brim of these like all-star actors, and it like name drops Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Bergdorf Goodman. Giant Toblerones are plot points in both the original season and this Christmas special. Like, it is the most batshit insane thing I've ever watched, and it delights me.
I mean, none of it makes any sense, but it's all very entertaining, and, you know, I dug it for that. I think I'm probably gonna have to watch the rest of the anime, just, like, because, like, it was so fun, and, like, obviously didn't, you know, care about anything except for just, like, having a good, fun time. You know, it wasn't trying to, like, get you to a deeper message besides just, like, you know, haha, corporations are evil, and, you know, Jaden Smith with superpowers would be really funny. I really like The Clerk. The Clerk was one of my favorites.
So fucking good. The Clerk was the guy, he's like the lead from the IT Crowd. But, yeah, I mean, it's so bizarrely star-studded, and it went completely under the radar. Like, I don't think it's getting a season, like a real season 2, because it's been 2 years since Pink Christmas, and I haven't heard heads or tails, but, like, what a tragedy, because their big PR stunt 2 years ago was, so there's a subplot. Kaz has these two friends, and they make caprese martinis, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a tomato-based martini with mozzarella and basil. And they capitalize on these by selling them first bottled, and then they turn it into a media company, which is a wild pivot.
Really good.
Incredible. But their PR stunt in real life was to make Caprese Boys merch. And when you went to try to buy it, it started screaming that corporations were evil at you. So I couldn't actually buy the Caprese Boys sweater I wanted, and by golly did I want it.
Oh, that's such a tragedy, man. I mean, I appreciate Jen Smith's commitment to anti-consumerism, but I mean, there's like a line in this where it's just like, listen, we gave up on the canned martinis, you know, we gave up on promoting our product. All we want is for people to love a brand. It doesn't matter what the product is. At the end of the day, people just want to take a picture with a logo. And I was like, I love that.
And then also Arcangelo's fuck material goods. Fuck material goods. Because, okay, so, like, basically the opening conflict and where this sales clerk comes in, who, by the way, does not have he refuses to give his name. His name is Herbert. Everyone calls him a herb, and an herb, and nobody knows, like, he can't put two and two together that they're insulting him and not just shortening his name. But he refuses to give his name to, Kaz, and, like, the whole premise of the opening of this special is that the leaderboard of these bachelors have this competitive secret Santa event, which is incredible on every level of writing, comedy, concept. And Kaz has Arcangelo, who again he hates, and he's like shopping for a gift, and he says Arcangelo's name, and Arcangelo like walks in with a flourish, and as soon as I see him, I'm like, I love you, fucking idiot. But then once Arcangelo leaves, the store clerk is like he presents himself as like a shopping knight, like he kneels.
He
and
literally says, I pledge myself to you, my liege. It rolls.
I pledge myself to you, my liege, for this, the sport of competitive gift giving. And he finds like a dope watch and everything, but like, it's so fucking funny because they go to this event and like it's televised and it's so tense and so insane. And Kaz like presents this dope watch that the store clerk found that's from Arcangelo's ancestor. It's like this whole thing. And he slides it over and Arcangelo's like, no. This is consumerist bullshit. Instead, I have for you a song.
And a hashtag also.
And a hashtag ACC. Yeah, so that's where this whole thing goes insane, because then Arcangelo spends the rest of the thing trying to get Kaz closer to him, because, again, he's in love with Kaz. Like, he calls his Aunt Agatha to be like, hey, I need security. Is Kaz available? And Aunt Agatha's like, hell yeah, he is on Christmas Day. It's triple our rate.
Oh, God.
Meanwhile, the store clerk bands together with a demon oldest time because Archangelo ruined Christmas because nobody showed up to Bergdorf Goodman on December 24th.
Yeah, it's really good. I also feel so, oh my God, like, uh, the clerk gets fired by fucking Bergdorf-chan, which is basically just like Hatsune Miku, but your CEO, which was really funny. And she's like, "We're gonna miss you so much." Ah! It was like, it was really funny.
What does he say? He's like, I hope my departure doesn't hurt your profit
I would hate
margins.
for my salary to jeopardize your profit margins. So good.
It's just so good. And then, oh my God, like, at some point, Kaz, another, like, plot point is that Kaz, because not his Aunt Agatha, his other French aunt, hid the manuscript of her memoir in a giant Toblerone, and he reads it, and it includes a family tree, and he's like, is it true we're descended from demons? And then his other big point was, oh, no wonder I love Balenciaga, I'm part Spanish. What?
Just wild. Anyway, at the end of the thing, the demon guy tells Agatha to kill him, and she does, and all of Neo Yokio is consumed in pink foam, and it's interesting.
Including my boy Archangelo and the most baller watch. Not Archangelo's great grandfather's watch. No, the fucking Domino's Pizza Rolex.
I forgot about the pizza Rolex.
It's given to all the best branch managers.
Incredible.
Clark goes, what a thoughtful company, and bursts into tears. So good.
And then at the end, when they're pulling out, Cass is like, "Hey Charles, what the fuck, man?" And he's like, and then they were asking, so like, Charles is like, well, he's like, why did you destroy Neo Yokio? And he's like, was it destroyed or was it restored? And it's just like, this is a wild premise for a Christmas episode, but I was very into it and I loved it, and I'm glad that you introduced me to this wild bonkers show.
I mean, like you said, it's the most Akira-ass ending, but the thing we hated about Akira is that it was just, like, gritty and grimdark for grimdark's sake.
Mm-hmm.
This was just wild.
Yeah, if the babies and Akira had stopped and tried to sell me like a Pizza Hut themed watch, like maybe we would have released that audio. But
I would fuck with that movie so hard if there was just as much I can't imagine they got all the copyrights because the logos weren't the logos; they were just name dropping brand names. Like, it was. There's a Louis Vuitton window display at one point where the shorts on one of the mannequins was a drum. I'm like, who fuck? The galaxy brains that went into this. Anyway, watch Neo Yokio, and then watch Neo Yokio Pink Christmas.
all right, Leyla, it's time.
Is it?
I think so.
All right. Here we fucking go.
As we mentioned before, there are, some episodes we haven't released. So this is actually our 33rd episode we're releasing this year. But the previous 32, if you'll notice, create a perfect bracket. And I love fucking like Game of the Year content at the end of the year. So what I wanted to do was create sort of a Mortified episode of the year bracket for me and Leyla to discuss. So we've got 32 episodes, which is 16 pairs, which will March Madness style get closer and closer until we have a final winner, and we will declare the best the Mortified episode of the year. So we're going to go through those. I will tell you, Leyla, when I did my own personal bracket, I factored in the fact that it was not just the content but the episode of Mortified that we recorded on it. So I think we should keep that in our thoughts when we are ranking these things. Okay. I also should point out for people who care about this sort of thing, this is not a seeded bracket. We didn't take best versus worst. This is completely random. So It might not, be exactly the kind of show you're looking for, but I think it will be interesting. So let's start with the round one at the left side and then go to round one at the right side, and we'll just keep on moving closer. Do you have any questions before we begin, Layla?
Was I supposed to make a personal bracket?
No, I just did that because I got bored one day.
Oh, because you're a dweeb. Okay, cool.
Mhm. Yeah. So round one, we have Code Lyoko versus Zatch Bell / Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, you're asking me to remember things. Well, I don't know. What do you think?
So in my personal one, I think I put Code Lyoko more, just because I thought that Odd is canonically a cat boy. It should be the tagline for our show.
I agree. I think our best Yu-Gi-Oh content actually came out of the anime hairstyle and was delivered
absolutely.
entirely by Michael.
Yes. So let's advance Code Lyoko.
No.
All right, round two, Burning God Feelings cast. We've separated the Burning God ones into 2 episodes, and Abzu plus Journey. For me, it's definitely Abzu and Journey.
Yeah, same for sure.
Nothing against our Feelings cast, but Abzu and Journey are just remarkable games. But I did enjoy the Feelings cast, and I loved being able to be like, "Hey, we got an arc." Can you believe that, Layla? We got an arc of the Burning God this year. That happened this year.
That happened. That's insane. Also, Abzu is currently on sale on the Epic Game Store for like $4 or $5 or something like that. You should go play it.
Absolutely. Next up, Shaman King versus Legally Blonde movie and musical.
This is tough.
I mean, honestly, I think it's got to go to Legally Blonde. I love Shaman King. I thought it was a wild time. We talked about some wild shit in my past, and it did result in me getting a keychain from you. But yeah. I do think that Legally Blonde, is a little bit better quality. So I'm willing to advance that if you'd like to.
Yeah, sure. I'll agree with that. Yeah, if you've been listening to Mortified for a minute, there's the reveal, because I think on air I was like, I bought you something.
It ruled. And I still use that keychain to this day. This one's a tough one. Kipo season 1 and 2 versus Kill la Kill, our first episode.
I'm gonna go. I think the first 10 episodes were very much us finding our voice, so I would just say Kipo.
Yeah, I would say so too. I think that if our episode had been better, I think Kill la Kill would have had a much better chance. But again, Kipo is very high up in my own personal rankings. So
yeah, it took us a minute to figure out how we wanted to talk to each other for other people's listening pleasure.
Yeah, also just talk to each other, because I think we had never spoken before, March, right. Which is wild.
Yeah, we've been friends for years. Wow, okay.
Next up, Six of Crow and Mean Girls / Heathers.
I think it's got to go to Mean Girls just for conscience.
Okay, I'm gonna push back on this one because I loved our shitty, terrible thief sons.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm confusing it with the Steel Crow Saga. Yeah, no, I agree. Six of Crows. Okay,
yes, we'll talk about that in a sec. Six of Crows. There's Empire of Gold versus the Naruto Live Spectacular. Ooh. Do you remember that shit?
God, the episode that was conceived in an hour and recorded in the next? Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I gotta say Naruto Live Spectacular. What do you think?
Okay, in mine I had Empire of Gold because S.A. Chakraborty is incredible, but I'm willing to entertain your counter argument.
I just think that so Empire of Gold, I think we agree we love the City of Brass trilogy just as a whole. It's, I think, collectively one of our favorite books that came out this year. But our episode on it was a lot of that. But the Naruto Live Spectacular, I think it's the magic in it, because it did have a live-action anime opening, and as much as I love S.A. Chakraborty, she has not delivered that to us yet.
Well, you know what? That's something to aspire to, Miss Chakraborty. I'll advance Live Spectacular.
Thank you.
The next one is Gallivant and Boruto.
You had such a bad time during I'm gonna vote Boruto.
I'm gonna vote Boruto too, because that was really the whole reason I wanted to do this podcast, was to make you watch Boruto and talk to me about it.
Look how far we've come. Yeah, I think that was when we learned that 66 episodes of television
was too much. Yeah. But I will say I'm glad you made me watch Gallivant, because it just gave me a real deep understanding of Alan Menken's psyche.
Yeah, Yeah, please watch that self-referential, wild television show.
Shit's crazy. Harrow the Ninth and the Anime Hair special episode.
I think we were too raw for Harrow. I think we should have sat on it for a couple more days, because I like that book a lot more in retrospect than I did during the time of the recording of that episode.
I don't know. I think
Anime Hair.
I'm gonna vote for Anime Hair. But I do think that I feel okay about how rough we were to Hair of the Ninth. There's some unforgivable meme moments in that book.
That's true. Samson Weir, we love you, but the memes were a lot.
Yeah, you know what? We'll swing back to Electo and we'll see if you can recover.
No.
Now on the right side of the bracket, we've got Steel Crow Saga and Kipo Season 3.
Easy, Kipo.
I mean, this is an easy one. I did love Steel Crow Saga so much. And it would be probably in my top 4 if it wasn't for the fact that the author sucks shit. Sorry about that one, y'all. But shit's hard out here. But yes, Kipo Season 3 advances. Next one, this will be an interesting one. Stargazing and Princess Tutu.
I don't really remember what we said about either one, but I feel like Princess Tutu was funnier.
Princess Tutu is almost certainly funnier because I was just like moaning constantly.
You had such a bad time.
I liked Stargazing more than Princess Tutu, absolutely. I think that and also we talked about Dressmaker, but like I think that story of like, an immigrant trying to find her way, like that diaspora kind of story, that ruled. But as far as our episodes go, I think the suffering that I got out of Princess Tutu is better.
I'm glad you agree.
Tutu. Oh, next one is Hades and Gundam Seed /DBZ.
Oh, fuck me. That's hard, because we kind of suffered through Gundam. And DBZ did remind us that Goku's a great dad.
Mm-hmm.
But Hades fucks.
Hades fucks. I mean, I did love talking about our terrible, terrible sons in Gundam and just our incredible bad, our great /idiot dad in DBZ. But we'll advance Hades because we'll have lots to say about that. Next one is Gideon the Ninth versus the Burning God /Scorpio season. 2 book ones.
That's tough. I don't know. What do you think?
Let me check what I put on my bracket. I advanced Burning God just because I love. R.F. Kuang's my favorite author. And, Gideon the Ninth, again, was one of our earlier episodes where we were, trying to have a little bit more intellectual conversations as opposed to just, laugh at stuff, which not saying that we can't do both, but,
I think multitudes.
Yeah, I also just liked, being like, hey, here's a couple of things that we love. But also Burning God Scorpio season suffers from, being at the end of like kind of a rough several weeks for both of us.
Yeah. You can really feel the election depression in Burning God Scorpio. You know what, though? For the sake of Scorpio season containing Breath of the Wild, which I objectively love, I'm going to vote for that one.
Okay, very good.
I can't remember what we said about Gideon the Ninth. Holy shit.
We talked a lot about, the great world building and, the relationships between characters and all of the stupid necromancers. I mean, I will say that I like Gideon the Ninth enough to like start writing a book about necromancy. So like, we dunk on Tamsin Muir, but like I really like that sort of thing. So
lovingly dunk.
Yes. Next one was our Boy Problems game and Over the Garden Wall.
Oof. I really loved Boy Problems.
Boy Problems won for me. We'll talk about why later. I mean, I did like Over the Garden Wall. I love how much you love that terrible school teacher and her gorilla husband.
I love her so much. You know me though, I have bad taste.
Yep, you can't win them all. Nope. Boy Problems advances.
I'm smart and a snack and I have terrible taste.
Gretzko versus Artemis Fowl.
Oh, Artemis Fowl for fucking sure.
That's what I thought so too, just because of all the screaming we did about God.
Josh Gad's bad draw.
Yeah. But to send off a Gretzko, again, really loved that conversation about, just trying to make it survive in a capitalist hellscape is very relatable. Next one is Smoke and Mirrors plus Haikyuu.
I think it's Haikyuu.
I mean, it's obviously Haikyuu, but let's real quick about Smoke and Mirrors. This was when I was like, I need Leyla to know the kind of person I am. If we're gonna continue this podcast, she needs to be able to handle my own bad taste. I will also, defend Imagine Dragons to the death still.
I mean, I would like to point out that if you follow us on Twitter, which is, I think, 2 people that listen to this podcast probably, who are maybe the only 2 people who listen to this podcast, but we did share our Spotify Wrapped for the end of the year, and I am in the top 1% of listeners for Bastille, and that did concern Aaron until I pointed out that Bastille is essentially Imagine Dragons that took a couple of slam poetry workshops next to an orchestra, so...
You're not wrong.
I'm not.
Oh, and the last round for the last matchup in this round is Teen Titans / Yu Yu Hakusho versus Inuyasha.
I think we had more fun talking about Teen Titans.
That's the thing. Teen Titans was really fun to just do that nostalgia trip. I know you love Inuyasha, and I am glad that you made me watch important episodes and expose me to that. Like, a lot of this project has just been like you being like, "Hey, here's something you should know about," and I was like, "Oh, great! I'm actually like smarter for having consumed this, just so I can have conversations in media about it." So I am very grateful that we did watch, Inuyasha. Especially because it helps me know you more as a person.
Yeah, we didn't even get to my husband in Inuyasha, the dumb wolf lesbian. Anyway, round 2.
Round 2, going back to the left side. Code Lyoko versus Abzu and Journey.
I mean, let Yumi say fuck. But Abzu and Journey, I cried, so I mean, I'm gonna go with that one. I
think so too. Abzu and Journey is just a very good game. Code Lyoko, though, I mean, it's just such a wild show with children with such wide foreheads.
Let Yumi say fuck!
Give it up. Legally Blonde versus Kipo Season 1 and 2.
Ooh, also tough.
Ooh, that is a tough one. I mean, for me, it's Kipo because I love Kipo so much, but I'm willing to hear your Legally Blonde arguments.
I love Legally Blonde so much, but I think we had more fun talking about Kipo.
Yep, I would agree. But to send off Legally Blonde, again, just like both like a pretty good musical and also, a classic movie. We have to stan, absolutely.
We do. And, I think some of my favorite episodes are both the ones where I cause you immense psychic damage, but also the ones where you're just openly delighted by something, and I think Kipo did that.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. That's the 2 options in this show. Either lots of fun or hurt Aaron.
Yeah, I've dealt you a lot of constructive psychic damage.
Let's call it that. Next up, Six of Crows and Naruto Live Spectacular.
Oh, I think Miss Bardugo has this one for me.
Yeah, I mean, again, loved the Naruto Spectacular. That anime opening is hard to beat, but it did sort of drag at the end, whereas Six of Crows only got wilder and wilder, and it did contain more awful sons, so Six of Crows advances.
I love a good awful son ratio.
Mm-hmm. Boruto versus Anime Hair.
I think it's Anime Hair.
I think so too. Again,
I haven't laughed that hard all year.
Yeah, no. You literally almost died because Michael almost gave you an asthma attack. But Boruto, I'm glad that me and you were able to talk about it because I just wanted to talk about Sasuke Uchiha's incredible daughter and how much of a shitty dad he is.
Yeah, I feel like this is my Inuyasha equivalent for you. Like, I think it's important that I watched it and it helped me get to know you better.
Yes, absolutely. Right side. Kipo S3 versus Princess Tutu. There is no question.
No fucking question. Kipo, she's got us.
Yep.
Yum loans you yarn.
Yum loans you yarn. But this is another one where it's like, this helps me understand who you are as a person. I got through your I made you listen to an Imagine Dragons album. You made me watch Princess Tutu. I'd say we're not even. No, because Imagine Dragons was 1 hour and Princess Tutu was like 18. But
I mean, to be fair, I did listen to the album multiple times while I cleaned my house.
Okay, that's, you know what? I'll take it. Mad props to Duck and her inability to pick any good friends.
No, none whatsoever.
Next up, Hades versus the Burning God in Scorpio season.
Tough.
Ooh, God. I mean, the
Really
Burning God is a
tough.
good fucking book. Scorpio season was fun, but Hades is literally the only roguelike that I've ever liked to play.
And I think we had a lot of fun talking about it. I think
Mm-hmm.
the way you play Hades says a lot about you as a person, and I think we made some discoveries.
Yep, I'm gonna put Hades up there. But again, please, I'm begging you, read the Poppy War trilogy. Follow Rebecca Kwong on Twitter. Um,
She's
it'll
an
be an
angel.
incredible use of your time.
She's very,
Um,
very funny.
ooh, next up, Boy Problems and Artemis Fowl.
I'm gonna say boy problems.
I mean, again, yeah, Ange did some real incredible work there.
Shout out to my friend Ange, who did you see when he texted me last night?
No, was that him?
That was him. So he texts me last night in like the middle of the night. So he lives in California, so it's 10 o'clock for him, and it was 12:30 for me, and I was still up because I was up till 6 in the morning last night. But he texts me. He's like, "Hey, there's a weird amount of Yu-Gi-Oh content on my feed, and it's not from you." And at one point, I had to explain to him what Yu-Gi-Oh was actually about, and he just goes, "No." And then he watched 3 episodes, and then at the end of the night, he texts me, he's like, "I feel like I'm being punished for something," and it goes to bed.
Oh, he should be thanking you. Yu-Gi-Oh is an incredible program.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Oh, incredible. Haikyuu versus Teen Titans and Yu Yu Hakusho.
I feel like Haikyuu, just for the good boy ratio.
Haikyuu, yes, has incredible boys, great characters. Again, like, I love talking about Teen Titans and Yu Yu Hakusho. Because I had watched Teen Titans, I recognized Cyborg's voice actor, who is apparently in Latter Days, that gay Mormon rom-com. That Cyborg is in it, which is incredible.
Oh, right, because you guys would refuse to refer to him as by his name. It was just Cyborg.
Yes, his name is Cyborg. But Haikyuu is superior. All right.
Semifinals.
We're on to the semifinals. Abzu and Journey versus Kipo season 1 and 2. Oh my god.
I'm gonna vote Abzu because I love talking about the human condition.
Here's the thing. I think it's gotta be Abzu too. I fucking love Kipo. I love the Scarlemagne arc. But we also have Kipo season 3, which, is a little bit cheating, but it does capitalize on all the other stuff.
Exactly.
Plus, I got to play Journey for the first time, which you recommended, and that was 100% worth it. So I will...
So good.
Abzu plus Journey. 6 of Crows and Anime Hair.
Oh.
That's a tough one.
Damn. I don't know what's your gut saying.
Oh. I mean, I don't know. I laughed really hard at both of those.
Shit.
God, it's...
You know what? I'm going to make an argument for 6 of Crows, and here's why. Okay. I think Michael was hilarious, but if this is a bracket of, like, best Mortified episodes, like, 6 of Crows is, I think, some of the most fun me and you had together, which is kind of the crux of the show.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, I think adding Michael, not to, be rude to Michael, but that sort of gets a little bit... It's cheating. Adding Michael is like taking steroids in this bracket.
I mean, I aspire to Michael's confidence in all things.
I mean, I do too. That's why I try to talk to him at least once a week and just leech his energy. But yeah, I do think 6 of Crows was just so fun. Like, I tried to mainline that book in one day, and then I was like, Leyla, please just give me your Audible account. I can't do this without playing video games. And then, like, the last 4 hours would just be like, oh, wow, these boys continue to be terrible. Okay.
So bad.
Yeah, alright, 6 of Crows. But again, the Anime Hair episode is absolutely one of our best episodes, and you should listen to that.
1000%. Never laughed harder in my life.
Alright. Semifinals on the other side. Kipo S3 and Hades. Oh my god.
Ooh. It's gotta be Kipo.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately it does have to be Kipo. I mean, Hades is probably my game of the year. Just because I love not only like an actual fun roguelike that's fulfilling and, interesting to play, but the characterization and all the stories, it keeps going on and on. Supergiant, please Get your cross saves over. I want it on Switch. I'll give you more money, I swear.
So bad. So bad I want it. I already own it on Switch. I'm ready for the cross save to drop. Yeah, this game gave me Thanatos, so I mean, absolutely goatee for me.
Yes, but Kipo, we will talk about Kipo S3 in a bit. But Kipo advances. Boy problems and Haikyuu.
Hard. I think for the same reason that I voted for Six of Crows, I'm going to vote for Haikyuu, because we did add other people.
I think that's fair if we're using that metric. Yeah, just having Sierra and Ange on was really, really fun. And again, thank you to both of them for indulging us in our project. You know, RIP.
Definitely... Sorry, keep going.
I was going to say RIP to Bubble Cousin, who almost shit himself after eating nachos. That was great.
I do love Bubble Cousin. We should play another tabletop this year.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll have to make that room on that for the schedule. But Haikyuu advances. All right, final four.
Whew.
Abzu and Journey versus Six of Crows.
Oh. Fuck.
Oh, that's a tough... My gut is saying Abzu and Journey because I think in my personal bracket, that one was in my final matchup. My arguments are I fucking love fish.
Great fish.
You can befriend a shark and also a little robot thing. And then you can, Journey is just such a rhythmic dance of motion and pleasure. And, I haven't had an experience in a game where like the one in Journey where you like die, you like your energy runs out and you get cold and die. That was incredible.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, but not without giving my terrible son Kaz Brecker a send-off. We love you, Kaz Brecker. He is 17, and apparently a whole city is afraid of him. I love that energy. Please keep bringing it. He's incredibly goth and angsty and wonderful and has a cane. And honestly, I couldn't ask anything more out of a shitty, edgy teenage boy. The poor press F to pay respects to Six of Crows.
We should talk about the sequel because I haven't read it yet. Maybe that'll be something in the next year.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a good one to put on. I love Crooked Kingdom. I'd love to revisit that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes. Kipo S3 versus Haikyuu. For me, it's no question.
I think another beautiful send off for my sons, Kageyama and Hinata. You guys are great. Hinata, Sunshine, Baby. Honestly, like Haikyuu inspired me to work harder this year. Like I was truly in like a really bad art rut and it got me out and it made me like a noticeably better artist in the last couple of months. And Kageyama, again, just my angsty, horrible fucking nerd ass son who had to learn how to high five. I love you both. Thank you for everything. Kipo, though, press F to pay respects to Kageyama and Hinata, but also press F to pay respects to Yumyun.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here. Again, like Haikyuu, thank you so much for introducing it to me. Like that's a show that me and Sierra are now watching the first season of because like if she, we've come to an arrangement where I'll watch a Doctor Who and she'll watch a Haikyuu, and like I'm just trying to get her very slowly into the weeb zone. And
how's she liking Haikyuu?
I don't know 100%, but I think she appreciates it. I don't know that she's ever going to be 100% on board with anime, but I think she does like see what I like about it and, understands why the tropes and, that sort of thing are appealing to me, which is important in a relationship, I think.
It is. It is important in a relationship. Well, congratulations on your journey.
All right. Speaking of journeys, Abzu and Journey versus Kipo S3, the final matchup.
I mean, let's talk about both episodes first. Abzu and Journey was a delightful time for all the reasons that you mentioned, and like I also said earlier, I just love talking about like the human condition. So I think it was really nice to because you and I look for different things in games, not necessarily like we'll like the same thing for different reasons. And I think this was like a really neat cross section of like user experience and just like pure visual joy for you, and like not only pure visual joy, but just like looking at low poly games from a technical standpoint and just looking at the artistic achievement of it and this experience of like research and music and visuals. So I think those were really great things for us to talk about. And again, I did cry. Shout out to that one YouTube commenter who was like, I cried with you. I'm like, hell yeah, bitch. Me and you.
Yes, thank you so much for commenting on our videos. Yeah, I mean, I really loved that experience of being able to talk about Journey and Abzu, and we're absolutely gonna have to play the Pathless once it becomes cheaper because that's the
Yes.
new Giant Squid game. I've heard nothing but good stuff about that, so we'll definitely have to check that out. The Kipo episode has some advantages because not only does it have Kipo the weight of Kipo season 1 and 2 behind it, but also it's we consumed it more frequently. But I Kipo is my media of the year. I think it is the funniest thing I've ever watched. I think that the characterization is incredible and the story arcs are well thought out. It is not very long. It doesn't get overdrawn, and it made me like literally weep for a giant lumberjack cat, like sobbing uncontrollably at my desk. Like I
Yeah.
Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts is my favorite media of this year, certainly, and possibly all time. Like it is so hard for me to to beat anything. I mean, to be fair, Abzu and Journey are like one of my favorite video games of all time. But I think it is so hard to compete with something that's just a masterwork like Kipo.
I know. Abzu and Journey I think are both very dear to me. I would say Journey's probably one of my top 5 games of all time. Abzu, I think they occupy the same slot just because they're kind of thematically similar. But yeah, I gotta give it to Kipo. It's what a show. What a show. I love children's media, so I thought this was just a triumph.
Absolutely. So you heard it here first, folks. Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beast Season 3 is Mortified, The Legitimacy Quests. Nope, that's what we said at the beginning. Mortified, The Friendship Quests. Media of the year. We will be sending our trophy to the offices of DreamWorks Studios. I'm sure they'll look forward to it in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
And just on a personal note, this is the end of Mortified season 1. I think we've come to an understanding that we're going to continue this project. Even when quarantine is hopefully blessedly coming to an end.
God, please, I miss people so much.
I wish that I wish that this project had I wish we weren't in quarantine still like we were at the beginning of this project. But if anything, if anything good has come out of this project, it has been me reaching out to my internet friends and being like, I don't have any real friends in real life, so could we be internet friends? So I want to say, reviewing all this media, having all these conversations, I just want to say thank you to you, Leyla. This has been so fun, and I've been exposed to so much more stuff than I would have normally. So, wherever this project goes, even if we end up, bailing halfway through January, thank you for spending your time with me and, having these conversations. It has been very meaningful in a very difficult year.
Yeah, no, right back at you, honestly. I was delighted when you reached out because the original premise was just like a one-off thing, and then I was like, hey, what if we just I don't know, talked every week for homework because quarantine makes one very lonely.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this has been a delight. It's been great getting to know you better, and I feel like if not for this podcast, I would not have been able to just go back to reading. I do better when I am assigned things with a time limit, so it's really been nice to get back into not only reading books I genuinely enjoy, but reopening my my eyes to reading books that I enjoy but maybe aren't perfect, and there's no there's a lot less pressure in consuming things and enjoying media that I normally wouldn't have. And you're a delight to talk to every week, and I have fun laughing and just immersing myself in these nerdy ass conversations that a handful, I think of 30 other people now tolerate across the internet.
So. Do we really have 30 regular listeners?
I don't know about regular, but there's
30 people have listened, which, you know what, I'll take.
Yeah, this is a great time. We're going to be off for 2 weeks. So, we'll be back in January. We're going to talk about what we're going to do. This is a great time to tell your friends about our great episodes. We did just rank them. So, If you want
I'll put this image on the internet if you want to actually see what our final bracket is.
Hell yeah, we'll tweet it. But this is a great time to tell people, sign up for a newsletter, etc., etc., etc. Hopefully we'll see you guys in the new year. This has been a delightful time, and even if it's just us speaking into the void, we're going to keep doing it for at least a little while longer.
Leyla, where can people find you on the internet?
I'm at LEYLSES on Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find my comic at astroheartcomic.com. It will start updating again in the new year now that the election is over. My essays are at LeylaMamedova.com/blog. The last one was about how I used to hate the 80s because people were obnoxious about the 80s, but no, I don't. Aaron, what about you?
You can find me on the internet at AaronSXL, where I tweet about Indiana politics and healthcare. You can also listen to my other podcast at MBMBF and Me, where me and my friend Michael and his brother Josh watch Christian media and either praise or condemn it. Last week we did a great episode about The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I think this upcoming week we're going to watch an old cartoon that I have not seen yet about the Christmas story of what Christians in the Roman occupation thought that was all about, apparently.
Oh, Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, it's gonna be some wild shit. Our theme song is Obsolete by Keshko from the album Filmmakers Reference Kit Volume 2. Find more of their music at keshko.bandcamp.com. All right, Leyla, and how, if we're going to circle back to the beginning of this episode, what do we always tell them about us and this podcast? Because I thought I was the looks.
And that's why you're not the one with the brains.